Hello and welcome to my channel. It's Darcy's Misadventures with Mixed Media, and I thought, you know, since it's the last day of September, I should probably do my how do you do art prompt, which is using things that aren't stamps as stamps. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I'm gonna try it both ways, like with ink and yes, I bought a new deodorant just so I could use this as a stamp. And then I'm gonna make collage papers. Some of my painty papers I'll add some stuff to, and alright, see, it's not super strong, but it does give you a little bit of something. So, you know, I don't know if the cover does any better. This is the old cover of the one that died. So it might be a little bit bigger. I think it'll do better with paint. But if you want like a distressed look, then, you know, you can use these things with ink. Okay, so I got two. I should probably clean out the deodorant that's in there, but I don't care. So yeah, if you want to use your inks to stamp, you can, but I've got paints as well. I'm gonna grab out this Prussian blue. I've got a bunch of well, she thinks if she can open it. Nope, we're not grabbing the Prussian blue because we can't open it. How about we should be able to open the turquoise? Okay. And I've got some painty papers and some drop papers, which is just the papers that I put on my desk to collect all the paint that in the messes that I make. I don't need to have this perfectly. It's fine. I'm just gonna brayer off on the side there some too. And let's see if, and the trash guy's here because, you know, right when I start my video, that makes sense. Does a little, it's all right. There we go. Getting a little bit of color on there. Let's try this one, see if it does any better. So really, we're just kind of also just testing out and see what works, because some things are going to work better than other things. But I think because these are so have such a skinny little, yeah, there's just not, and maybe, oh well, let's try something. Let me get a thing to put, I'll show you. Let's try putting some foam underneath. You could also probably maybe even put a gel plate underneath. But foam will give us a little bit more. We'll see if it works or not. I don't know. Maybe I need a heavier body paint. I don't know. This was supposed to be fun and interesting, but you know, if nothing else, it does give us some fun and interesting textures on our gel plate. And you know, if you want to use texture or stamping on your plate, it does work great for that. In fact, I'll pick this up in a second. Just gonna make some more random ovals everywhere. And then I will pick this up real quick with something. This one's, it's interesting, but you know, could maybe use, I'm even just going to kind of do a little bit on the bottom of there and at the top over there, just randomness on that, so that you could see the impressions that it gave. Like I needed more pieces. This is what this one looks like. We're just going to add a little bit here and there. Just add some more texture, more layers. That's what it's about. It's about the layers. And then whatever else I keep, this one's just like that, and I'll just clean off this piece up here just so we can try a different paint and see how it looks when we're with a heavier body paint. That's what we're gonna do. This is a heavy body paint. So yes, September was September stamps. And I believe it was basically use things that are not stamps as stamps. Did that work or not? No, I need it smaller. This is lefty-loosey, right? I think so. I mean, worst comes to worst, I just go upstairs and say, hey, honey. All right, we're going to try doing hit it on the thing and see if that helps. And maybe when we build up, oh, there you go, hitting it. All right, so if your cover is stuck, bang it on a hard surface. That seems to work pretty well. This is a heavy body. And this is why it gets stuck, because I don't clean my covers, so paint gets all up in there. That's user error. Definitely user error. This is a heavy body. I mean, this was not heavy body, but it's not like super thin either. All right, I'm just gonna sprayer this off over here and try not to get anything in it. I just don't want the I just want my brayer to be a little bit more smooth. Like, I don't want to have the dendritic bits on there. Does that make any sense? Am I making any sense at all? Probably not. And sometimes the brayer off bits are like the best. All right, just making a mess. Just also, you could do this on book pages. Just anything you like to use in collage. That's what you do. All right, let's try the heavy body paint and see. Oh, okay, heavy body paint does make for a better stamping for this anyway. So yeah, when you get a new deodorant, you can save that little piece that goes on the top. That must be what it's for. It's totally for. Yes, I am. This is just too thin though. This is a thinner, does not work quite as great. But, you know, if you like a distressed look and you just like ovals, it's hard to find nice ovals. So, and you don't necessarily want to buy like a stamp just for the ovalness of it. Also, circles, you got your tape. That is nice to get like big circly bits. Does it work with the ink? Well, we'll find out in a second, because I'll just do this side to see how it does with ink. Well, once it has a layer of dry paint on it, that will help. But let's see how it does. Where is it? It's there. It's barely there, I think. All right, I'm going to let this side dry and then try that with the ink. See if it does any better. And then also, you can use the covers of things like this. I don't think they work quite as well with ink. They work better with paint. And you can totally stamp with paint. Sometimes it works better like that. So those are like barely there with ink. But with paint, let's see. Grab a piece of book page, and you could just use like one cover and go all over, but if you want to save yourself some time, you can just do it like this. And we should probably have an underpaper here, shouldn't we? We could. It's totally optional. Just thinking about the mat. And what was I just using? Oh yeah. Probably going to get my finger all in there too, but that's fine. And this just gives you some marks in the background. And then if you want smaller marks too, you can do that. I have this brush cleaner here, which has like little dots and it has little wavy bits. Let's try the wavy bits. Do we want to try it with ink first? I don't know how it works with ink. I usually use this with paint, so. But we'll see. Hey, it does pretty decent. So, you know, at the Dollar Tree or whatever, if you see, you know, little brush cleaners, this is what this is. They usually have some fun textures on them. This thing is a little annoying, though. I don't know. I think that's supposed to, like, yeah, suction itself to your desk or your table or whatever for cleaning your brushes. But when you're using it like this, it just does it a little bit different. But if you want little spores, like fungi spores, it kind of almost looks like that. And it also works with paint. As long as you don't get paint all around the edge, it's a little better. You could do the whole thing. Just gives some interesting marks. So when you rip this up to make collage paper, then you have some interesting marks on there. So that is an idea. I'm just going through my whole box of textures. I use these on the gel plate a lot. Well, obviously I don't use this one a lot. I don't think I've ever used this one on the gel plate. I don't think that it's going to work with just ink. I think you need something more. I think it'll work better as a texture. Well, we did get little circles. Oh, I do like those circles. Those are nice. And they almost have the little thing on the edge too. All right. Let's just add a little white to this, and that will make it a light blue. Oh my goodness. That's too much white, but that's all right. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Let's put the cover on the ink so we don't... All right, we're just kind of moving these to the side after we try them out, I guess. So yeah, this did, with just the ink, it did give us some... Right. It did give us like little circles. And then with the paint... What does it do? Probably just give us little circles again. Oh yeah, little circles basically. And on the gel plate for texture, I think it's just too thick. The texture is just way too thick over here. Is part of the problem. Is because sometimes if you press it just right, you get the little things around them, like the little flowers or whatever, but not everywhere. All right, so it would give you some texture on the plate. So these are not super great for stamping. That's why I saved them to try them on the plate. They're okay. I think maybe thinner plate. Okay, and then, yeah, sure, try it. So you just roll it, and then you roll it, and you get lines. And you get little bits of lines using this. Will it work with ink? I don't know. Now it's got paint on it. Probably shouldn't use it for ink. Now, no, I shouldn't, because now I get paint all over my ink. That was a mistake. Don't do that. Don't do what I did. Trying to get that paint off of there. Probably got more paint on there. Okay. That needs to dry before I can try it. But it gives cool texture on the plate, which is nice. It's super nice. And so there. And you can see the color in the background get picked up there too, which is cool. Alright, I'm just gonna pick this up randomly. Just layers. That was just getting random layers all over the paper. You don't have to have a big gel plate either. If you want to start with like a 5x7, you can do a lot with a 5x7. Especially if you're making like tag sizes anyway, or cards or whatever. It's a good, the heck, it's a good size for that. But also, you know, you just, if you want to use bigger papers, you just do it all over like that. Eventually more layers, you won't even see the lines. It's fine. So yeah, I like to use this for texture. Works a little bit as a stamp. You get very hard to see lines. Let's, what's next? Oh, we got this, which is just the non-skid thing from the carpet or whatever. So let's find something we can put marks on over here. Maybe this time we'll do something in this colorway. I think the sap green will work because we got some greens on here, or the brown. Let's do brown. Raw umber. And just spread that out. If you don't have a gel plate and a brayer, just go ahead and use a credit card to just get the to spread it out so that you can then press your piece into it. I don't know which side works better. I don't know if there's one side works better than the other, but we're just going with this side because if I switch sides now, I will end up with all kinds of mess. So this works as just like a subtle background stamp. Let's try ink on this side. I don't think it's going to work with the ink unless it's on the side that's built up. But we'll see. Oh, yeah, pressing on it get more. Oh my goodness. Don't put wet paint on your. Yeah, a little bit of the black ink shows through, so you could use this to stamp. They just get really subtle in the background. These are some of my favorite things to use, whether I'm just pressing them down like that with some paint. I think I've used them with ink before. They're okay. But the thicker paint you have, the better. Let's try the ink. I usually just do half because I need to hold it. I need something to hold. yeah, that's not really, I think you might be better off using like ink and then spraying it with water, maybe? Will that work? I don't know. There we go. We got a little bit. If we spray it with water and then, whoops. Well, it's just water. It's just wet. I don't think much ink is showing through. But sometimes you might want to try your other inks, your not permanent inks, your distress inks. Where are those? They're up in this drawer. That's where they are. Oh, they're behind me. That's right. My goodness gracious. They are behind me. Alright, oh, this is an oxide. Let's try an oxide and see how that does. So sometimes the inks you use for stamping make a difference. Like these are more opaque. So, oh, candied apple's fine. We'll try that. It'll mix with that black a little bit, but that's alright. Alright, try that. It was a little bit wet on there. So it shows just the tiniest bit. I really like these embroidery. That's what these are. This is the round ones. I have the 3 sizes. They do sell them on Amazon, but you have to get like 30 of them. So if you don't want 30 of them, Sharyl has them. If you send her an email and ask, so with the water, you get a nice effect there in the background. So this stamps best with like oxide or distress inks and water rather than the permanent kind of a deal. And then just get some of that mess off of the plate, and it gives you texture on the plate. Okay. Next, what do we want to try? Well, let's grab another piece of drop. I don't know. I think doing this on the drop paper might be the most fun. Getting the textures and whatnot. Oh, we have these X's. I haven't, looks like I've never used them. They're little spacers. They have little circles on them though, so that's gonna affect. I like the distressed look of them with the ink. I do like that. And once I get paint build up on this, it'll probably do even better as far as taking the ink. For now though, let's try a little bit of white. Oh, let's do some gold maybe. Well, it's iridescent fine bronze. Iridescent bronze is technically what it is. But, so yeah, if you don't have a gel plate and you don't have a brayer, just put your paint down and smooth it out with either a brush or a credit card or whatever. You just kind of like that. Remember that this kind of, or you could even paint it on there, really. Let's see how that does. Yeah. Let's see, just dipping it in there work even better. We'll get a lot of dendritic. See all the texture there. Oh, that's interesting. So yeah, you get a lot more paint on there. You have more. Oh, and sometimes the glue doesn't stick. I don't know what I glued that on there with, but I don't know. Plastics to cardboard's not super great, so I guess 3's better anyway. Let's just take it. Oh, I think also because this cardboard is bendy. You want a more sturdy cardboard for this to work. Just saying. Man, that's annoying. So, now you know. Don't use bendy cardboard because all your pieces will come off. Way too easy. Also, use better glue. I don't know what glue I use for that, but also you could just have one of these and just use it. It's just hard to hold on to. Alright, those are annoying. These I did as plus signs. Same diff, right? And it's on the same kind of card. Maybe if I put the other card on the back, it would do a little better. I don't know. So you can do, that doesn't show. So you could do them as plus signs, or you can do them as X's. The outlines show more than anything. Let's see, is there a place on here where they might show a little better? There you go. And when you brush them, you get the texture of the brush. So these are just, they're spacers. I bought a bunch, and I think I finally ended up throwing away whatever was left. And any kind of circly tubey thing that you've got works nicely as a stamp, especially with paint. Let me try the other end. Should still work with, yep, it does work with ink as well. So when, this is probably one of my favorite things to use, is just a piece of cardboard roll, especially if it has, like, the wider it is, the better. I like better, more better. I don't know what that came off of. Oh, here's another brush cleaner. This is one I like a lot because it's got those little half circle-y things on the one end, so I tend to use that end more than anything. And it leaves some really cool texture on the plate as well. So yeah, that's a fun texture. So yeah, this was also from the Dollar Tree. I cut off the little suction cup thingies on that one because it just annoyed me. This is just the thing I use. It came with all my easy opening stuff, like the thing I use to open this came with this, and a couple of, there were a couple in here. So, but it has a, I also have a another piece similar to this that I use for stamping. But it's just a rectangle, and it has the same, it's thicker. It's not as wobbly as this one. So, all right. Oh, this is the big one. See, you just get that real subtle background, which I like. Okay, this one, probably good. Probably, it's got more stuff on there now, so that, we like that. Am I getting stuff on the thing? That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. All right. So yeah, we already did that. Here's another one of these, which is, this one has paint, dried paint on it. So we'll try that. And if you turn it a little bit, does get, so that's just pressing it down. And then if you turn it a little bit, you just get a little darker circle. Like that. And it almost looks like you've drawn it with a crayon or chalk or something. It's kind of interesting. Let's see. What's this? This is Payne's Gray. We like some Payne's Gray. Payne's Gray is always good. Just gonna spread that out. Could go ahead and even just, so yeah, if you don't have a gel plate, you can totally, now the thicker you get the paint on there, the more weird your circles, not weird, sometimes that's a nice thing, but you might want to turn it if it's like glopping on one side. Just kind of turn it as you go so it doesn't glop on the same side, unless you like that. Some people will want it to glop on the same side. Apparently, iridescent bronze and Payne's Gray makes kind of a dark gray. Who knew? Who knew? So that's with the ink, that's with the paint. And like I said, the thicker cardboard you can get, the better, in my opinion. Let's see. These are spools. Let's see how the spools do. So this spool is kind of open, but it gives a nice circle. So look at your spools, and you might like what they do. This is a wood spool. It's just a little wood spool. It's got some ribbon on it from my aunt that I just haven't taken off yet. It just gives a different, because it's got the circle in the middle. If I just turn it just a little bit, then I can kind of get more of the look. So it kind of looks like a washer when you do it. Will it work with the ink? I'll have to try this side. Get the ribbon on there. I'll use that ribbon eventually, but for right now, this was in my textures because it was. So that's if you just press it, and then if you just turn it just a little bit, you get a little bit more. And then a little bit more. So it's just more of a faded look if you use the ink. Alright, wood pieces that you get at the, so these are just chipboard pieces. Let's try that. I haven't tried them with ink. Let's see how they do with ink. Probably better if it had a layer of paint on it, because wood is absorbent. So It's very subtle. Do any of these have paint on them already? No, of course they don't. Why would they? This one has some paint on it. It might work a little bit better. Barely. But if you like a distressed look, it does work to give you like that distressed wallpaper. Just really distressed. But if you want to use it with paint, which you totally can, probably also be a little bit on the distressed side of things. That did not work so great, did it? Let's try it with paintbrush. Doesn't work so great. It actually works better with ink than paint. Who knew? And it didn't even work that great with ink. So let's try on this one maybe, since we have a layer of this. See if it works better. Not much. What if you spray it? Yeah, the water just absorbs right into it. That's what happens. Because it's wood. When that one dries, maybe we'll try it again. Okay, another thing you can use is wallpaper. This one does have, oh, let's try it with the, I don't think it's going to work with the permanent ink so much, but let's try it with the distress oxide. And you do get a little bit of an imprint from that. I'm not sure that spraying it's a good idea, but we will just to see. It does get darker and you get more of a watercolory effect when you do that. Let's try paint spray again. I mean, we'll probably get purple and it mixes with the red, and that's fine. Yeah, stamping can be messy. Just be forewarned. I'm just gonna smooth that out. If you use a piece of parchment paper to put your paint on, that would probably work well. See, we're just trying to get the raised bits for the wallpaper, and it just gives a nice little grungy background. You can even turn it, flip it, whatever. So, textured wallpaper can be used for stamping. This is just a comb, so sometimes I will just kind of stick that in there. Make little dots, or well, if you have enough paint on there, you might be able to get some lines. So a comb is an idea. Pill thingies, you know, these are something you can use. I don't think these work super great with inks, but let's see. This one's Festive Berries. Because it just is, I don't know, we'll see, we'll try it just to see, but it usually works a little bit more for doing texture on the plate, but you get a little something. All right, let's, oh my goodness, Payne's Gray, smooth that out. Have it kind of thick, maybe. Clean off my brush up there. Brush up, brush up, brush up. Don't get much using as a stamp. It is fun as a texture when you don't have too much paint on there, but it gives you something in the background. Just some, oh my goodness, this little string stuck to me. So yeah, there is that. And if this was not so thick here, can you see that? Okay. You just kind of press, see, now you can see the circles on that side. And then if you do this side, and it gives you an interesting shape as well. And then you can pick that up off on a piece just for the texture. You can see more of the texture when you take it off the plate. All right, more. There's a whole basket. Oh, here's see, this is the card. This is probably from washi tape, but you know, it's got the thicker thicker bit of it. It's thicker. All right, there's paint on this side, so I think if I do that, and then of course if you turn it just slightly, you get that. And if you spray it a little bit, then you get more watery bits, which is good too. And of course we know that works with paint. We know very well. Oh, and then if somebody hits your car and you get this piece off of their car, this works also nicely as a stamp. It does. It really, I haven't used it with inks as much. Let's try it. Yeah, see, I like this one. It's just circle in a circle in a circle. I don't know why I like it, but I do. Spray it for that watercolory effect, whatever. So that, it's just a, I don't know what it is, a gasket. It's off of his Valio. He had a Valio, whatever, and I think it actually goes like this. But I really liked what was in there, so I was like, oh, I'm just gonna use it like this and get circles. And I was able to get, I could probably cut off that part, but then also if I was paying attention, I probably could have also used some of, let's use some yellow ochre. That outside edge probably could also be stamped, couldn't it? I don't think I've ever done it. I don't think I've ever really paid that much attention. I'm going to get green, I think. Well, oh, I did the wrong part there, but that's alright. I was trying to get the edges. That's what I was, because I've never done that before. It just kind of gives you a, it's hard to, if I cut it off, then maybe, but I don't know. Right now, I'm able to do that, and I like that. So, when someone hits your car, and you have to clean up the mess, then totally take the stuff. Use the stuff yourself. I don't think that this one will stamp super great, especially not with just ink, because you need to be able to press it down. So this probably works best with paint and more of a texture on your gel plate than a stamp. I mean, this part down here kind of stamps, which, you know, kind of looks like old tape maybe, I don't know. Let's see. Let's just do a little bit of this on the edge there. Not really. If you wet it, more so. But this does make a great texture on your plate to get a piece, a little bit of something happening. Alright, that little splatter that happens, that's kind of, wish I could get that to do that on paper. That's way too much, lady. Oh, I have another plate I could try. I have two plates here. Of course I do. Except one of them has paper on it, so. And so I put stuff on here to clean it. I don't know if it's dry or not, but here we go. There's the cleanup from the last time I used it as a palette. Still kind of a lot. Let's see. I like what's going on the rest of this paper, so I don't really want to clean it off too much. I don't want to cover the good part. I don't want to cover the good bits. You know what I'm saying? Alright, let's... It's hard to keep still. It wants to move all around. Although we do have that from the ink, which is kind of interesting. So it doesn't, I've had it, I think it works best with a fluid acrylic. Just saying. I did not bring over a fluid acrylic though, did I? I mean, it's right over here. I can grab one. I can grab one. But when I've used this in the past and had more success with it, it was with fluid acrylics. So, It has a little white mixed in, but it might be okay or it might not. Let's see. Maybe not. Yeah, I don't know. We got weird lines with it. Just gonna do a quick pickup of that. I think because the white was mixed in there. Yeah, so a thin layer of fluid acrylic is really... Or maybe it's just that this is a newer plate. I don't know. I'm hot. Are you guys hot? I think I'm having a hot flash. Take off the long sleeve shirt. That'll help. This works more like a stencil than a stamp. But stencil starts with S. So this is just, somebody sent this to me. I think my friend Lori. It is the stuff that is sequin waste. That's what it is. It's the outside part of the sequins. So it makes for some fun dots. So you put them on like that, and then you could just do that, or that didn't really work. But now we can use our gel. Oh, here you go. There's like a great stamp. Use your gel plate as a stamp. Did you know you could do that? You could totally use your gel plate as a stamp. So that worked out really well, using the stencil to get it through and then stamping it on there. Another thing is, these are just little pieces that I made using the hot glue. I usually use these as texture on the plate. They're not so easy to use as stamps unless you actually glue it onto something like a stiff piece of cardboard and it stays there. So glue sticks, heat glue, and this is kind of stampy because this is, I learned how to use this from Kerry the Crafter, and I used the thicker foam pieces, and apparently I glued these better than the other ones, although now they're starting to come off, but they're on the edge, and I've had this a couple of years at least. So this works nicely. It does work nicely for stamping, I think. Let me go ahead and spread this out. And there's a little piece of something, a little piece of fuzz or something in there. I'm not going to worry too much about it. So then you get texture on the plate, but also, well, you can barely see it, but there is some stamping there. Let's try it over here. Probably could have put more glue on it. I'm going to, not glue, oh my word, paint would have made more sense, but it's super subtle in the background. And sometimes, though, that's what you want. Does it work good with inks? Let's try it. We'll do it over here on these ones that have dried paint on them. And stick that on here somewhere. Yeah, I did this, use just like the back of a 12 by 12 for this, and I use it on my 12 by 12 plate fairly often. So there we have the triangles. What if we wet them a little bit and try it over here? No, we're not even all the way on the thing, but whatever. That didn't give me much, but it gives you a little something. I don't know. It worked okay. Not super great. This will be cool texture on something. So we'll just kind of do a quick. Nah, it doesn't really show on that. It'll show up in the next pickup if I were to use that as a pickup, which I'm not. This will be, it'll be a cool pickup if I do it. Alright, so I'm going to move this. So these are some of the drop papers. You see, like, I make a mess out of them. And then someday I'm going to make a drop paper journal. And it'll be really cool, I hope. Some of my drop papers don't have a ton on the edges, so those could be where I kind of come in and use my gel plate as a stamp to just get something there. So that's fun. Also, I have these. This is the smaller of the embroidery, and this is the larger of the embroidery, which I like this one the bestest, I think. I usually have used some paints or some inks. Usually if I use inks, I want to also use water with it, and it gives a really kind of cool effect. Spray some water on there. And find a piece of this that needs a little something, something. And then you just get that nice bit in the background, which I like to use on a lot of stuff. And of course the smaller one will give smaller squares. We'll do the smaller one with some pink. Yeah, my papers are too big. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself. But I am. Alright, I need to finish this one. What is this one? It's Prussian blue, but it's almost gone, so I need to maybe just do some in this color. Would probably be good. Just to use that up. Alright. Is this video going perfectly? No. But it's arting. It doesn't have to be perfect. There is no perfect. So it's okay. What were we? Oh, we were gonna try this. You do need some paper to put down though. Let's just continue with paper that's too big for our table. How much of my area can you see? Pretty much a bunch of it, huh? Alright. So this over here is kind of plain and boring, right? So let's get some of that. Also makes nice texture on the plate for picking up later too. There we go. Gives you a nice little layer to play with. Alright. I find these, oh sorry, Joann Fabrics is where I got those. Is there still a Joann Fabrics? No. But look at your craft store. You might be able to find them, or you might be able to find them. Oh. So I use these stickers I use as stamps. These ones are glittery, so they might not work so great. That's alright. They just pull these. These are new ones. I get them when they're on clearance. So this is $1.12 instead of $4.49. So look for them when they're on clearance. They're perfect for the gel plate because they're frontwards. So when they go on the plate, they're backwards. And then when you pick them up, they're frontwards again. It's awesome. That's what you want for a gel plate. Eventually they start falling off, but that's okay. For $1 or something, I get them again when they're... Oh, I should leave that whole. I've never had like a whole one like that. That's kind of cool. Alright, so to use them as stamps, I would probably need to... I have backwards letters, and that's alright. Let's see how it does with this ink real quick on something. This one is just a piece of tissue. It's going to be backwards. It's going to be fine. But for a background, it doesn't really matter if they're backwards, really. It's just background, and it's interesting. And that does work very well with inks. But it works even better with paint, I think. Ooh, and this will be cool because we have the texture from... That'll be cool, I hope. Because we have the texture... Is that the side? Yeah. Yeah, from what was on the plate. So that's really cool. But like I said, if you do it on the gel plate, and then you pick up whatever it is with the gel plate. See, now they'll be frontwards when I do this. Well, you can't see them very well, but you can see C, D, E. They're frontwards now. That's how the gel plate works. Let's see. What else do we have in our little bag of tricks? I don't think this one would work great as a stamp per se, but we're going to try it anyway. This one's pretty busy, but let's try the back side. See how we do. So yeah, I'm just getting more texture on the pieces back here. Let's try, see, I think it helps. This is what, Florist? No, this came with some interesting papers. All right, let's just try it with paint first. We're using up the, well, let's just stick this in there. It's going to make it more green but than anything. And it mixes with the other colors. Lift. But also purple and yellow, so, you know. What were we doing? We were doing this piece right here, right? Now this is a piece that will definitely make your hands dirty. So if you don't want that to happen, just use a piece of paper to press it down, which then gives you something on the paper. And will it stamp? This is kind of what we're talking about today, is will it stamp? Barely anything there. Tiny little bits. But this bit here, which is on the gel plate, can now be used as a stamp to stamp down with, you know, your gel plate. Just use your gel plate as a stamp. That looks like some kind of, whatchamacallit. I also have lace, which I think I must have sprayed, or somebody sprayed. I don't know if it came this way or if I did something with it. Maybe we'll try the other plate for a second. It has less on it. Doesn't have nothing on it, but it has less on it. Alright. So lace, especially if you, let's try the fluid. See if it works any better. Maybe, maybe not. Then I kind of like this rough edge bit, and then pick it up with something. Let's just go ahead and press it down, and we'll see. I think it sucked up all the, see, things that are more absorbent like this are not going to stamp super well, but if you did it on the gel plate and use your gel plate as a stamp, and you get some of that texture back there, the lizardy texture. I know it was lace, but it's kind of lizardy looking, isn't it? Let's see. Also, you can make texture plates. Oh, this is so I used Stencil and did the light and fluffy through the Stencil. This works more as a texture plate than a stamp, but we can try it as a stamp. I also think it will work better with, don't stack your plates, lady. What are you thinking? Okay. A little fern. I like fern. It's not super heavy body, but I think for this you might want more of a heavy body. Whoops. Comes out. I think I'm just going to do a little bit and then a lot more comes out. And that's kind of annoying, but it's alright. Yes, my foam is totally covered. Not totally, but it's got stuff on it now. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. And apparently I'm used to, you know, putting out paint for bigger plates too. Possibly could be part of my issue here. Alright, let's try this on this book page and see how it does. This was just one of the stencils from one of the cheap stencils. Will it stamp? From Amazon, I was trying to say. Does not, well, you do get a very, so if you're going for the distressed look, and you just want a tiny little bit of the layer to show, it does, but it barely shows. But if you, 1855, I know. But if you use it as a stamp on your gel plate, then you get that, which is kind of cool. I missed a spot, but that's okay. That actually makes it interesting, doesn't it? Let's see. So texture plates, I have a bunch of them. They seem to hold better. Like this is a PM Artist Studio one. That's a Tim Holtz one. I just take the stencils and I turn them into texture plates in hope that they'll work on something someday eventually. A little bit comes off. More of the outline, because once it dries, it's hard, you know? It's just a hard surface. If I were able to do these with foam, well then I would be copywriting and that wouldn't be good. What else can we use as stamps? That's an actual stamp. Don't forget to look at your, this, I don't remember what was in this, tomatoes or something? I don't know, World Center Plant Yeah, probably tomatoes or something. And also, it has a little bit of texture to it too, so it doesn't always come out all the... Oh, that's because I didn't get enough paint on it, probably. Yeah, gives texture in the background. It's a little bit better. It's a little bit better for making texture on the plate, really. And I'm not sure if it's even that great at that, but you know. Oh, look, on the plate it does a lot better. So then we can take that. Oh, see, there's their secret. Stamp onto a plate and then use your plate to stamp onto something. That seems to be the secret right here. I don't know why, but it is. That's how I want to do it all of them now. I just kind of want to do it on the plate, see what happens. Just, and then use the plate as a stamp because you just get a little bit better, whatever. So when I did the thing through this one, I did it so that it would be frontwards when I, you know, so that when I put it on the plate, I mean, it's German, so it's hard to tell anyway. But let's go ahead and stamp this. Here, it might show up to here on that dark spot. Yep, it did. So, if you want to stamp with your texture plates, then you just need 2 plates. You just need to press it to one, stamp onto the other, and then put that on your piece. That seems to be the most funnest way to do it. The paint's drying, so it's not super great, but so that's in my way. I mean, it doesn't show up much there, but that's because it's really dark background. But it shows a little bit, right? Also, let's add a little bit of darker green to this, see what happens. Oh, I moved ya. Sorry. We need to be done soon anyway, don't we? I don't know. Look through your house, see what you can find. If you cannot get it to stamp and you really want to use an impression of something, then try this method where you pick up the paint from one gel plate and then put it down on another gel plate and then use that gel plate to stamp. Maybe something later. Wait, let's try this. Onto whatever it is you want your print to be on. Alright, but maybe use darker. You can't really hardly see that. It worked a couple times. I don't know. Don't listen to me. What do I know? Let's see. And you got to get it before it dries. So, I mean, if you use open paints, which Golden is the one that does the open paints, then you could probably even take this farther. Farther, farther, farther. I need a lighter color. Here, let's go down to the bottom. When your wrist hurts, you just use your elbow. Come on. There we go. That one, you can see that one better. More better. You see it? A little bit more better. Yeah, if I did it on white background, you would have been able to see all of them better. But this is just ideas. Either to use them as texture on your plates or to use them as stamps. I've also just kind of used a pencil or pens, a sharp, or maybe it was a embossing tool thing, but I just made lines in this. And it makes fun, cool textures. Also, I did it on both sides, so they're just slightly different on each side, right? I don't know if you could, I don't know. It's easier to do this, but you probably could also just brayer onto this, maybe. I've never tried it that way. Should we try it that way? Let's try the gold. Right, you can't see that because I did it on already patterned paper. I don't know what I was thinking. What was I thinking? I don't know. Alright, let's try it over here. Yeah, there you go. It works better. You see it over there. You can see it over there. So yeah, just making marks in your foam. Also, you can cut out pieces from your foam. There's a little wonky rabbit that I made at some point. I have a different rabbit I like better. Oh, him. I like him. I used him. Birgit Koopson did a 31 days gel printing challenge, and that was my little bunny that I made. Oh, also, other people have been doing this, so you've probably seen the cardboard used and that. And here's more examples of using the foam to make patterns. Just any of these things. Here's some other wallpaper. This I use for texture on the plate, not so much as a thingamabob. Oh, here's the thing that Patti sent me that I've never used. Let's try that. To do the, I think the best way to do this is the plate to plate, and then use the plate as a stamp. I think it's going to be the best way for that. Where'd my other plate go, though? That's the question here. And some days your gel plating goes well, and some days it doesn't, and it's okay. What if... Oh, here's the other plate. What if I find the other plate? That'd be the best. That'd be the bestest thing. Alright, will it work with just ink? That's one question. I'm going to also press that onto there. And then press this onto here. And that actually worked nicely with the ink for stamping. And let's go ahead and try it with some paint. I swear my brayer itself is like a piece of art. See that? It's fun. It's so fun. Okay, let's just go ahead and take that and put it on there. And then we have this we could stamp off here as texture. And then this one, I think we got a lot of red in there still from the other pieces. Didn't show up very well, did it? I think maybe it was the color I used. This one did a little better because we got some of the red in there with the gold, so that's kind of interesting. So it will make some interesting papers for collage. Got a lot of green on here. Let's just throw some green. They kind of look like leaves anyway, right? This is a heavy body paint. But you don't need a ton when it's heavy body. Alright, let's try it a couple ways. We'll try it like this. It did alright. And we'll do this. Still say the gel plate is your best stamp, even though I miss places here and there. It still gives you some cool stuff. Yep, let's try this the other way, remembering to press where it didn't press as much. And then you can take and layer more pieces on top of that, you know, with some darker colors and whatnot. And if you're cleaning off your brayers, your plates, this is a good way to do it. You just have to like let your papers dry in between, not like I'm doing where they're gonna probably all stick together. Okay, this is the new one too, isn't it? It's all right because what would I do with these white spots? So I would take like a stencil or like even this and just stencil in between those parts, and then it looks on purpose. We like when things look on purpose, right? Yeah, we can use black, it's fine. No. Because there's red on the on this little piece, that's why. It's all right, we'll just do that. Kind of is more like burgundy. So, you know, and then on the edge here, doesn't have to be perfect. All right, so also, sometimes you get the plain edges. You can always just stencil around the edges to like cover that up. I don't know. But I think my favorite one so far has been like doing a stencil on the gel plate and then stamping that off. That seemed to work well, didn't it? Let's try it with the black. I don't know why, but it did. Let's try it. Just adding texture, adding. So I guess my biggest thing is if you've got a gel plate, use that as a stamp. Why not? That was my big takeaway. I don't know, what was your big takeaway? Just try stuff. Use stuff from your, just look for stuff around your house to see what may or may not be useful. This was like a thin layer, so it's already dry. Because some people are like, how long does it take to dry? Well, that depends for gel printing. It depends on how thin your layers were. My layers were pretty thin here, so that's fine. What else do we have? Should I show you there was the tapes. They didn't come out super great. They come out better on regular paper, I think, is part of the problem. And then there's some circles. Yeah, there's not much to show. It's just all random stuff. I just added textures and bits. This is probably one of my favorite bits that happened. And then this is kind of cool back here. These will probably be pages in a journal that are double-sided, so it's fine. Oh, and I like how that came out too with the texture, even if it's backwards. It's background, so it doesn't matter. That works best with the plate. That was just a plate. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, there's where we first did the circles, and there's some stuff in the background there. Oh, I could have used the back of that, couldn't I? I could have. Oh, I used that wallpaper and the foam, and there's the other circles. Okay, we're almost back now. We're back to the beginning. What did I do here? Oh, some X's and O's. X's and O's. That's where we started. So if I were actually making collage papers, I would probably be a little bit more neat with it, you know. But this is still interesting, and so you could still put stuff on here, or if you were to like rip some of this off to use for collage, that piece would be interesting on a piece of collage, just like that, you know. It adds to it, just by adding your stamping, whether you're using actual stamps or using things that are not stamps, which was what our How Do You Do Art was for September, was using stamps that aren't stamps. I hope you guys have a delightful day, and I love you. And for those going through a hard time, I'm sending you extra love and hugs. I know some of you have mentioned, and I'm sure there's plenty of you that have not mentioned that you're going through a hard time. And I hope I can be here with you in any way possible, even if it's just keeping you company while you craft. And try to craft and do something to make your heart happy. And I hope you find joy in the morning. And I mean that as in MOURNING. It's okay to find joy even when you're going through tough times or going through grief. And embrace those moments. Don't feel guilty about those moments. All right, I love you guys. Bye.